are listening to the SNC podcast with Folashade Anozie, a podcast featuring conversations with some of Nigeria's unique, talented, budding, and established music producers and songwriters. We get to know more about these creatives as individuals and discuss their creative process, sprinkled with some insights from a legal and business perspective. Efe Oraka got my attention after I listened to her feature on rapper Psycho YP's record, Not Your Fault. It was an awesome find. You know how people sometimes let their SoundCloud let loose and play? That is exactly what I was doing that day. And part of what intrigued me was how soulful her voice was and is. I like the way she sounds on records. There is this lovely rawness about her voice that is quite refreshing. Even watching videos of her performing, she has this nice way of drawing people in, and I knew that I'd love to chat with her. I hope you enjoy the interview. Welcome to the show, sweetie. Thank you so much for doing this. How has your day been?
My day has been pretty slow. It's just 12, but I have a photo shoot to do today, so...
Oh,
yeah.
Fancy. Yeah. Is that for an upcoming single and upcoming album?
For an upcoming single.
Okay, alright, cool. Alright, yes. That's great. Okay, cool.
I don't know if to say soon because the way I work is I can record something today and then say, okay, I'm going to release it like in 2 weeks' time. And before I release it, I listen to it again and I'm like, nope, no, we have to do more because like I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I don't want to give a date, but hopefully soon.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay, so you said you're a bit of a perfectionist. So when it comes to when you're working on your songs, do you tend to seem like you're the kind of person who is constantly revising their song, or you're just like when it's
I
done?
am.
Oh, really?
I definitely am. When I even write a song, I write like different inversions of the same song. Like every song has 3 to 4 inversions, and that's just so I know what theme I really want, or what message I really want, or what melodies I really want.
Oh, okay. Do you find that just because you're a perfectionist when it comes to writing songs and you have all these different inversions, that tends to sometimes slow down how quickly you get stuff out?
Oh, definitely it does, because the thing with me is I'm kind of blessed to have ideas in my head almost every other day. But sometimes when an idea is rough like that, it takes a lot to, it's conveyed in such a way that it makes sense and it's perfect. And nothing can really be perfect at the end of the day, but I'd like to get close enough. I think that's what the problem is most times.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, now that we kind of jumped right in, but we haven't really given the audience the opportunity to get to know who you are. So I always ask people when they come on the podcast to tell me what their passport name is. So tell us who you are, what your passport name is. Do you come from a family of 4, 5, 3? So let's hear it.
All right. My name is Efe Oraka Florence Odeyin Oraka.
Okay.
I'm from Delta State in Nigeria.
Okay.
I come from a family of 9.
Oh, wow. Are
you
the first child?
No, I'm the 4th.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So you're in the middle. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. And what has that been like being a middle child? Do you tend to seem like your parents just give you more leeway, or you seem to be like there's a lot more pressure on you?
Not really, to be honest. Like, I think my parents in general are really chill. So there's not even that much pressure on the first child. And they're not ones to pick, oh, this is my favorite kid.
Yeah.
You get, so like, they're just kind of the same to all of us.
Okay, that's nice. It's nice to have like there's no favorite child. Someone feels jealous. Okay, all right. So now that we know your name is Efe Oraka, but you know that it's Efe for short, and you come from a family of 9. So when did you start singing?
I started singing maybe when I was 3 years old or thereabout. My mom put me in the children's choir at church, and from then on it was just singing at church, singing in school, singing at competitions, like kids competitions or representing my school somewhere. But I knew that I wanted to make it a career when I turned, I think, 9 or 10.
And what made you say, I want to make this a career?
Okay, so I'm not one to speak up for myself. Like, I find it really hard. I talk a lot, but I find it really hard to tell someone, oh, look, I don't like what you're doing to me right now. I don't like that you're being mean or something. So I feel like I got bullied a lot, like during primary school. So the only way I could really let out my emotions was by writing a song and singing it. So it was then I knew that, like, this is the only thing that gives me happiness. This is the only thing that helps me escape. So I should probably think about doing this for the long run. Because really what music for me is an escape from a lot of things.
Okay, interesting. But do you think that you've made more progress in how you speak up for yourself compared to when you were 9 till now, right?
Just a little bit. Really. Because I don't know how to speak up for myself as much, I tend to shy away from people. Like, let me explain it. I'm the type that I'm really social, yeah. I know how to, if I go to a place, I like to make everyone feel comfortable and laugh, but I never let it get past that. I never let people actually get to know me, because I feel like it hurts more when someone who you know does something to you, yeah. So I don't let people get to know me all that much. That's been like my strategy. But sometimes, yeah, people I know still tend to mess up sometimes. But I think because I'm not able to say it, I've found a way to just let them know somehow, maybe through my actions. So they just kind of know that they've done something wrong and they apologize.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, just being someone who's, I think being able to see life more than you have, I feel like as you get older, you definitely get to see that you definitely grow more and become more confident in being able to speak up for yourself, So looking forward to that progression for you and coming back to interviewing you and saying, Efe, what's up now? You're like, Shade, really, like, I just speak my mind. So, don't be too hard on yourself, but just know that it's important that you do speak up for yourself so that people do not take advantage of, you being humble and you being quiet, okay?
Sure.
Cool.
Sure.
Okay, so I know that during the course of my research as I prepared to interview you, I read that you you got influenced, or you started listening to Sound of Music as your inspiration, the movie?
Yes.
I was like, Sound of Music is like the greatest movie ever, personally, to me.
It is.
I can recite every song in the movie. So
wow.
Yeah, I can. It drives my friends and my mom and my brother crazy. But talk a bit more about that, how you got how you got exposed to Sound of Music and what that did for you as, an artist and just being someone who loves music.
Okay, so Sound of Music is from way, 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 way back when I was much, much younger. And I remember that my mom and dad, like, coincidentally, they met in the church choir. So they were both singers, yeah. So they didn't really play a lot of, would I say, secular music. I don't want to use the term secular, but they only really played gospel music at home. Like, from when I was like maybe 1. So the only thing they would play for me sometimes is stuff like The Lion King, Sound of Music, Little Mermaid. And I think that's where my love of music came from. And I remember sitting down in front of the TV and watching Sound of Music over and over and over again till I never really got bored of it. And maybe I think that was when I was like, okay, I wanna do this. I want to sing like her. I want to be like her. And even it influenced the type of music I grew up listening to, because I realized that a lot of my age mates veered off listening to Afro beats or Afro beats really, but I stuck to maybe some classical stuff, some pop, some rock. I used to listen to Billy Joel and I used to listen to Bill Withers. It just kind of groomed the way I saw music and my approach to music, which I'm actually really thankful for.
Yeah, I would really, really agree with that. I think that that is something that we share in common. Because I don't know if it's the movie per se, but I feel like just watching Sound of Music every day, that for me, it also just helped to, I guess, make me more appreciative of different genres of music. I'm not like one person who's like tied to one genre of music. So that's really, really awesome to know. What's your favorite Sound of Music song from Sound of Music?
Definitely, How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria? Oh my God, I love that song so much. Yeah. And I want to kind of write a song like that.
Oh, that would be awesome to hear. That would really be awesome to hear. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good song as well. Well, when I read, I was like, I love this girl already. Sound of Music is like the greatest movie ever. Okay, so moving on from Sound of Music, another thing that I also read is that you are a huge, huge fan of Jon Bellion and Conor Maynard.
Oh my God.
So talk about that.
Oh my gosh. For Jon Bellion, one thing I always say is there's a difference between the music aspect and the artistry aspect, yeah? Mm-hmm. And I find that a lot of musicians these days, or rather, a lot of people in music these days are more of artists than they are musicians. Artists in the sense that they probably get people to write songs for them, which is not a bad thing. Of course not. Yeah. I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to put anyone down, but I feel like there's not enough thought being given to the intricacies and the science of music these days. Like, I get if some people are not instrumentalists or they don't know how to produce. But I feel like if you're going to be into music, look at Beyonce, for instance. She's someone who I feel is a true musician because you can tell even from when she's performing that she puts a lot of thought into it, yeah? Mm-hmm. So Jon Bellion is one person, he produces and he writes his own songs himself. And he's just what I feel is the ideal package of what a 21st century musician should be. Because I remember every time I listen to a Jon Bellion song or I listen to his albums, I go online and I check the making of the album or the song in particular. And I remember watching one video and he was thinking, he sat down and he was closing his eyes and he was trying to figure out, what do I do here? And he's like, give me the kick from this song. And he called a year 1978. And I'm like, you really have to be so into your craft to be able to do that. And that was just when I got through it and I'm like, nah, it really doesn't get any better than Jon Bellion, really.
Yeah, that's the 1978. Wow, that's really. And then, so what about Conor Maynard? What is it about him that just intrigues you?
Conor Maynard, what I love about him is you would hear a song that someone else has done and put out, but you would hear Conor Maynard's version of it and you would just be like, wait now the same song be this. You get It's like how did you do that? How did you flip? Or when he does his mashups and he's putting everything together and he's doing this and that, I think is really great. And also the fact that he's into production, he plays instruments and everything, I think is wonderful. And the fact that a lot of people might just want to look at him and be like, he just does covers. But if you look at his background and you look at his history, the songs that he put out, when he put them out, they were top of the charts, like Vegas Girl or All Around. You get? So I was impressed. I'm really impressed by his stuff. And I just feel like he probably just does covers just because he just finds it fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what are your favorite covers that he's performed so far?
There's this one he did with Alex Iono where they put Fake Love, they put, I think, Broccoli, they put so many songs into one. Mm-hmm. And then he did a cover of oh wow, why can I not remember? He did, was it Hotline? Yes, Hotline Bling. Mm-hmm. And I remember at the end of Hotline Bling, he added another song from some other place and put it, and I was just like, oh my God, wow. And I think he did Craig David's Fill Me In. Yeah, he did that all as a mashup. I just thought it was really cool.
That's really, yeah, it is cool because I mean of the covers I've seen him perform, the ones I really like, I like Panda, the one by Designer. He makes that his own, and then there's the one that the Bad and Bougie song he has with the artist called Anth. I was like, this is really this is really dope, and
really cool.
His voice is really dope. So okay, that's cool. And sticking with Conor Maynard, like you rightly said, he's not someone who just sticks to covers. I know that you also do a lot of covers. So what influenced that decision to say I want to start off making covers first than writing my own songs and putting that out first?
I think for me it's the fact that first, a lot of people tend to undermine cover artists, but doing covers, it kind of sharpens your mind and sharpens your creativity in the sense that you're doing someone else's song and the song was probably a huge hit and you're giving your own interpretation of the song. So it really takes a lot of creativity to make it into your own vibe, but at the same time, not something that is not that nice or something. So I feel like it definitely makes you more creative. And because I listen to a lot of stuff, and I feel like for you to be a balanced musician, you have to have a really wide palette of things you listen to. There's genres that I prefer to listen to. There's genres I prefer to create. But I feel like you can always take something out of everything. And that's why I went into covers in the first place, because I was excited. I was trying to take something out of everything. And I feel like now, judging based on the progress I've made in music, everyone else has not seen that progress because I haven't put any new stuff out. But I personally feel like I have achieved a lot and I have gotten better.
Okay. And for those who do not know the covers that Efe has done, she's done covers of Elastic Heart by Sia and The Weeknd. She's also done covers with the Mavens, the group in Nigeria, and the label. And most recently, the cover actually, was, I guess, what's the English word I'm trying to find, Bagawan, whatever. But one of the major covers that she did was the one by Jon Bellion, and it was a 21 cover mashup of all his songs, and Jon Bellion actually acknowledged Efe's, rendition. So talk about that, what that was like for you, and what influenced your decision in the first place to say, you know what, I want to, do a mashup of his 21 songs that he's done.
Okay, this is actually like a really funny story.
Okay.
The day I did that cover, that was not the cover I was going to put out. I was going to do a mashup of Fake Love. I was going to do like a Drake mashup of like 3 songs and then put Gangster Fair by Santi at the end of it.
Okay.
But I was trying to put it all together, but it just didn't sound right. I recorded it and it's not like it didn't sound right, but I didn't like it. And I was like, you know what? Before I had an idea of doing some Jon Bellion songs, but it was only going to be like 2 songs. But then I'm like, hey, go big or go home. Like anyone who knows me knows I'm a Jon Bellion stan. I would not stand for, like, I can actually count how many artists like I am proper big fans of, and Jon Bellion is one of them. So I was just like, you know what, just do the cover. So I did the cover, and I went upstairs because the Wi-Fi in the house wasn't working properly. I then used my dad's phone. I did the hotspot thingy-majig, and I connected it to my phone, and I uploaded the video. So when I uploaded it, I DM'd it to some of my friends. I'm like, please retweet this, so I would like it if it went viral. And like in 1 hour, I had like 200 and something retweets, and I was like, okay, I like where this is going. And then on and on, I just kept checking. Honestly, I feel like, I don't want to say I didn't think Jon Bellion would see it. I knew he would see it. What I didn't know is that he would actually reply, because I find that sometimes these celebrities, they see the little things that their fans do for them, but for some reason or the other, they don't reply. They don't really acknowledge it. So I was just sitting down. People had been starting to really retweet the thing, and I was just happy about the progress. And then I saw that he had quoted the tweets. I actually didn't see it from my mentions on Twitter. My friend had to send me a screenshot of it because my mentions that day were
crazy,
like crazy. My phone kept spazzing, and I saw it, and I can remember hyperventilating. And like I said, I was watching TV with my dad, and I was just like, and my dad was like, "What's going on? What's going on? Bring water, bring water." So my little sister, who actually recorded the cover for me, brought water and sprinkled it on my face. Honestly, it was such a dramatic thing. So my dad asked me, what happened? I'm like, Daddy, that thing I posted, because he knew that I had posted something. Yeah. It's like, Daddy, that thing I posted, the guy saw it. He's like, who is the guy? And my dad obviously doesn't know Jon Bellion. So like, the closest person I could be like, I was like, it's Beyonce. And then he was screaming. He was like, wow, Beyonce saw your video. I'm like, yes, Daddy, Beyonce saw my video. And he was really excited for me. Aww. Then, like, I'm a very, very emotional person. So I started crying. But then I stopped. Then my manager called me and he was like, oh my God, can you see all that's happening? I'm like, yes, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Then Jon Bellion then tweeted. Yeah. Like, and he was like, this really moved me, and the tears did not stop. For like maybe 2 hours, I was just sitting on my bed, just crying and replying messages. Oh God, it was a wonderful feeling. And like, even the tweets that he tweeted to me, like, I don't even care what anyone says. I'm going to get them on T-shirts. Like, I don't care. Whoever wants to say it's corny, like, that's fine. It might be corny to you, but like, my hero acknowledged you. Exactly. So I'm good. I'm good.
You're good in this lifetime, right?
I'm good, man.
That's so wow. Yeah, because seriously, like, when I even saw it, I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, this is like really good. And I saw the numbers. I was like, okay, cool. And the next morning I woke up and I was like, oh crap! Not only did your number, not only were you doing major numbers, like, he actually responded. That's like, he
responded. That is.
And you touched on something about when celebrities see the things that their fans do that are little, whether it's little or big, and sometimes they don't even respond. Do you I think as you are going to become you're up and coming as well, you eventually become a renowned singer, songwriter, and artist. What is your take on that? Because as a celebrity and someone who is popular, you can't respond to every single thing, right?
You really can't. Yeah. You really can't. I feel like because there has been once I posted a cover and it was by some Nigerian artist, and I don't want to say the name.
It's okay.
But it got like maybe up to 1,000. I can't remember the exact number, but around 1,000 to 2,000 retweets. And that's really good, because based on the fact that obviously with the Jon Bellion thing, Jon Bellion is not a Nigerian artist. His fans that are not Nigerian would see it and they would retweet. But this was home based. And I remember like seeing the artists in the artists that I did the cover of, they were tweeting and they were,
ignoring
replying to, I don't want to say irrelevant things, because that doesn't make any sense, but they were just tweeting really, really random stuff. And I gauged that it wasn't like I just put the cover and I didn't mention them. When you mention someone on Twitter in something, as many times as it's retweeted, it will be in their mentions. And that day my mentions were blowing up, so they definitely saw it, but they just didn't reply. And like, I won't lie, at the point, and it annoyed me, because I'm like, I know you can't see me. Yeah. Why not just reply? You get? So I just feel like whatever their reasons were, I guess it's fine. At the end of the day, I don't feel like I'm necessarily entitled to a reply. Yeah, because it's just something I personally put out there for people to still see what I'm doing. But I definitely feel like when I get to that stage where people do all those little things for me, I will try my possible best to reply. Even if I'm not putting like a whole sentence, at least an emoji, for crying out loud. Yeah. I would try my best to acknowledge stuff people have done for me. I personally don't reply to DMs and mentions a lot, because like sometimes, especially after that Jon Bellion thing, my DMs, I had to keep them open just in case anyone wanted to ask for like an interview, or like I got approached by maybe like a record, because it brought in like a lot of traction. Yeah. So I opened them, but then there were a lot of people, like a lot of random people sending me a lot of random things. Yeah. And if I scroll down my DMs, I still see some of the things people were sending me, and I'm like, okay, how do you know? How am I supposed to reply to all of this? So I feel like if your fan is out there trying to do things, especially the fans that you know that this is probably not their first time, because some celebrities actually have some fans that they know they see at every show, they see at every meet and greet, that always out there. I feel like just acknowledge them because it will make them so happy.
Yeah. So I mean, it's safe to say that a lot of Nigerian artists need to do better and not think that.
Oh yes, they do. Yes, they really do. They really do.
Yeah,
they do.
You know, we'll get there. You know, we'll get there because I mean, there are artists that acknowledge their fans and know that.
Yes, definitely.
Even though you're talented, you know that it's because of the support of your family and friends and your fans who have made you to become the artist that you are today.
You are.
Yeah. So you know, we'll get there. We'll get there as a country.
Yeah, sure.
But so moving on to other more positive things, you like you mentioned about how sound of music has influenced or did influence your love for different genres of music. I read that you like pop, you like rock, you like alternative songs. How has that influenced your writing, being exposed to different genres of music? How has that influenced the kinds of songs that you write? I
feel like definitely what you write as an artist is always based off on what you listen to. It's obviously never this. It's not the exact same lyrics. It can't be the exact same lyrics. But I feel like if you listen to a lot of Afro beats, when you are writing, you are going to write songs that you feel should be Afro beats. That's the way it works. And for me personally, like I said, when I was growing up, I was listening to a lot of Pink, a lot of Avril Lavigne, a lot of Imagine Dragons, Bastille. I loved pop/rock/alternative and indie sounds. So definitely, I feel like I'm an indie artist. I'm an indie alternative artist. But it's just recently, as I've been trying to gain like a wider knowledge of music, that I have seen in some of my songs, I'm veering off into some genres like jazz or a little bit of soul, and even recently some rap. I've always listened to rap, but I never thought I was able to write rap. But then I thought to myself one day, Como, you write songs. What's the difference between writing lyrics for a song and writing an actual rap? So like I decided to try it, and well, I attempted it and I think it turned out pretty good. The song is not out yet though, but I think it was fine. So I think definitely, obviously, like I said earlier, everyone has what they'd rather listen to. But the more you expose yourself to different things, the better you become, because you're not just doing everything from one perspective. Yeah, that's why, okay, for instance, now you see a musician like Odunsi, Let me just use him as an example. And you see that, okay, when you're listening to his song, you can definitely hear the Nigerian influence, but you can definitely hear the Western influence as well. You can hear that this is someone who actually knows his music, because when you listen to his stuff, you might not know it, but if you listen to a lot of old music, you would tell that he's picking up some things from some places. He's not sampling anything directly. He's not copying anything, but you can definitely see the influence. And that's a balanced artist, for what I feel, because a balanced artist is someone who not only can, make it in their local setting, but can be exported to the rest of the world, and will still have the same love. So I feel like definitely everyone should try and listen to as much music cutting across different genres as possible, so you can do some genre bending, because I find that nowadays genre bending it's a thing, not just sticking to Afro, but doing Afro fusion, doing like jazz, but putting a bit of reggae in there, just mixing it. Definitely, I feel like that's only possible when you not only listen to Afro beats, but you listen to a wide range of music. So you can do Afro indie sounds, or you can decide to do Afro jazz, or you could do reggae, soul, or whatever it is. Just give people a different feel. And it definitely shows that you're an artist who puts a lot of things into perspective and puts a lot of thought into what they do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's an interesting way to look at it, and I appreciate that. Now, just moving on to your songs, you have songs out that I guess the one song that you first put out was Omalicha Baby, right?
Yes.
And that was produced by Gospel on the Beats.
Yes.
Yeah, can you talk about that song? What was the influence behind Omalicha Baby, and how did that come about? And what made you say, of all the producers, not just in Abuja, just in Nigeria in general, what made you say, I want to work with Gospel?
Well, okay, what a lot of people don't know is when I was about 12 or 13, I released my first album. So, obviously back then, like, I was not as mature as I am now, and I thought that the way an artist becomes big is when they release an album, yeah? And I just put out an album, and I thought, like, I would have, like, a Justin Bieber moment. Like, I legit thought that immediately the album dropped from nowhere. You get, I would just blow. So obviously that didn't happen. And I remember at that point, I was maybe in year 8. So I had done year 9, written some exams, and my parents decided to change my school from a Nigerian system to a British system. So when I got to the British school, like, I used to be top of my class in the Nigerian school, but when I got there, the system was different. I was failing. So I had to put in extra effort to maintain my high grades, to put in extra effort to do well in my IGCSEs and all my coursework and all of that. So I took a break from music for maybe like 3 years. I took a long break. So when I finished secondary school, and I was trying to get back into it, I thought, okay, I don't even really know what my music sounds like anymore. Because during the break, I was writing, but I wasn't writing as much because, like, it wasn't a crucial thing. What was more crucial was my education, So, I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. So I didn't really know what I sounded like anymore. I was trying to do Afrobeats because people kept telling me, Afrobeats is what's it right now. That was why I took on Gospel, because I felt like Gospel at the point, he had done, like, quite a number of songs that were popular, and I thought once again that, if I just do a song with Gospel and people see, it's produced by Gospel on the Beat, it will get them more hyped to listen to me. So I did Omalicha Baby, which is actually about my parents and a story they told me when I was growing up. It's kind of like a family story. So I did the song with Gospel, and obviously I thought that, it would blow up, but it really didn't once again. And I can't lie, it was kind of frustrating, but it also made me sit down and put things into perspective and ask myself, okay, Efe, what do you really want to achieve with music? Who are you really? Are you an Afrobeat musician, or are you a musician who wants to, stay true to her sound? Not that people who do Afrobeat are not staying true to their sound, but there are some people that their sound is Afrobeat, And then I realized that no matter how much I try, so I can put some pidgin or I can put some indigenous language in there from time to time, but that's not really me. And that's like a truth I struggled to, come into full terms with, because even a lot of new age artists these days are not necessarily Afrobeat, but like I said, they do Afrofusion. And I realized that if I try to do Afrofusion, it doesn't really come out the way I want it to come out. And I don't really have such an extensive knowledge of Afrobeats. I'm not even talking Afrobeats like Don Jazzy type Afrobeat, like speaking Fela, the Daju sisters, But honestly, I understood that I don't really enjoy Afrobeats in general. And I used to beat myself up about that, because there was a time when people are like, you got to embrace your culture, you got to do this, you got to do that. But I'm like, it's not like I'm not trying to embrace my culture. If a nice Nigerian song comes on and I like it, I would dance my sorrows away. But like, at the end of the day, that's not me. I've tried so many times to, go around it and try to put myself into it, but that's not me. And it's just recently that I'm starting to understand that, that's not you. And if you don't want to accept that in Nigeria, and it means you even having to move to actually find the perfect fan base for you, it's fine, just as long as you're staying true to yourself.
Yeah. Definitely, it's definitely key as an artist to stay true and not just follow the trends. You really have to identify your sound and know what works for you, because if it may sound awesome on an R&B song, and her sound wouldn't come through on a pop song, and that's fine. It doesn't make Efe, less of an artist. And for those who may be wondering what album Efe, because you didn't actually mention the name, but the debut album that she released at the age of 12 was called The Beginning, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I know that obviously I searched online for the album, but I didn't find it. So was it that it was just physically available through CDs and it wasn't released online? Was that the case? Okay.
It was actually online for a while.
Okay.
We had a website and everything, but I think over the years the website domain expired. And the album wasn't actually moving. Like, I didn't even bother enough to check it. But I'm working on an EP right now, and I was thinking maybe before I release the EP, I would put out like a few songs from the album, because a lot of people actually still ask me, are you sure you're just lying? Was there really an album yet?
Are you sure you're just lying?
Like, a lot of people say funny things like that. I don't know why I would lie though, but I might create like a different SoundCloud, or I might make a playlist on my SoundCloud.
Yeah.
So whoever, like, I'll just put it up for maybe a week/2 weeks. Because I mean, like, I was 11, 12. I'm not trying to look down on what I did then, but it's like, looking back, it doesn't even feel like it's the same person anymore. So yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, that'll be nice just to hear what you sounded like when you were 11, 12 compared to where you're at now. So, but yeah, Nigerians are usually, like, I can't do. Okay.
It's Efe Gospel on the beats. I've not found just happiness, I found a life partner. You have broken down my walls, I'll love you forever. There's no love that's quite like yours, baby, no never. And when I stare into your eyes, baby, you got me saying things like, baby, more. I wanna stay right by your side, oh, baby, more. I'm never leaving you behind, oh, baby, more. Come follow me like a satellite, oh, baby, more. My love for you is something I can hide. Baby, come with me, we'll take a lap over the seas, oh, across the 7 oceans, the sun and the galaxy, oh. You're giving me peace of mind, I'm feeling it inside, I will love you forever. I'm never leaving, baby, I'ma let you, baby, oh. Come on, why you on my mood? Baby, more, you are my melody, oh. You are always there for me whenever I need you. You answer every single call, I can always depend on you. You're giving me good loving over and over and over again. Baby, I bust in my brain. You make me say, baby, more. I wanna stay right by your side, oh, baby, more. I'm never leaving you behind, oh, baby, more. Come follow me like a satellite, oh, baby, more. My love for you.
Still sticking on with gospel, apart from the fact that you got to work with him because at the time he was one of the producers who was really big on the Afrobeat sound in Nigeria, what else did you learn from that experience working with him? What was it like working with gospel, just, being in the studio with him, with the recording process and all?
To be very honest with you, like, I didn't really learn much. Because what happened at the time I was doing the song with gospel was, I don't know, when I get into the studio with producers, even up till now, people like calling me a one-take wonder. Like, I can do a song, like a verse, a chorus, and then a verse again in one take, and it'll be fine, yeah? That's like a good thing. I don't have to go over it over and over again. Maybe if I had to go over and over again, I would have learned more, but I just did my vocals, and when everything was ready, he sent it to me. So, like, there wasn't really much to take out of the whole thing, because always think, I'm busy, and he was actually a really busy person. So it's not every time I could come into the studio and sit down and watch him, work on stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so aside from gospel, what other producers have you worked with, and are you looking forward? Are you looking forward to working with in the future in Nigeria specifically?
Well, honestly, in Nigeria, the guy that produces for me is called Moss Two Chris. He's part of a group called Two Chris, and I feel like it's such a great privilege and adventure working with him because he's produced for a lot of Nigerian artists, yeah, and like, but at the same time, he's really versatile with what he can produce. It's not only Afrobeat he's producing, like he does basically almost everything, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's really a blessing working with him because for my sound, yeah, before I really knew what my sound was, or before I still can't really explain to you what my sound is, but before I had a clearer vision of what it was, I was saying, oh, I want to work with Don Jazzy, I want to work with this one, I want to work with that one, but I realized that now working with a lot of producers, especially like producers that are new age producers as well, it takes a while before a lot of them can, get what I'm asking them to give me. Because I'm someone who, like, when I write a song, I know exactly how I want it to sound in my head. So sometimes having to get a producer to, translate what is in my head sonically is difficult. And I feel like right now, one of the only people that have been able to do it and do it perfectly is the Moss to Chris guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like outside of Nigeria, I would definitely want to work with Timberland.
Okay. And why would you? What is it about Timberland that just appeals to you?
Like I can't even do, like, if you check from when R&B and hip hop was really all like was it, because now a lot of sounds are more EDM / house kind of sound. When R&B was really R&B, and hip hop was all, everywhere. Timberland was that guy.
Yeah.
I feel like I would definitely want to know what he's like in the studio and, work with him. I would also like to work with Calvin Harris, definitely. Okay. Diplo, definitely. Who else is there? James Fauntleroy. Yeah, James Fauntleroy is definitely the producer that right now I would want to work with, like, absolutely.
What is it about? Is it his production or the fact? What is it about him that makes you?
Like someone I feel like is a really proper musician. Like, he's the kind of person that is all music and little to no artistry. If you check what James Fauntleroy has done in the music industry, you would be surprised. James Fauntleroy has had a lot to do with so many big successful albums, like Jhené Aiko's album.
Yeah.
What's the name of that album again? But
yes, what's that? Is it Selah? It's not Selah.
Yeah.
Selah.
Out. Okay, yeah. And he's had something to do with Beyonce's Lemonade. He's had something to do with almost every single Rihanna album. He's worked with J. Cole. He's worked with Kendrick Lamar. There's no one James Fauntleroy has not worked with. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And sometimes you even hear like his vocals in the bodies of work, and I just feel like he's someone who has put in so much into the music industry. So he definitely has a feel of everything, and I feel like it's always best to work with producers who can do anything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's really cool. And if you could talk about your songs, Bemi, what was the inspiration behind that? Because I read the inspiration behind it, but I would like you to tell people to see if it's in line with what the article says, because some articles may be another story. So talk about Bemi, which is an amazing song, by the way.
Thank you very much. For Bemi, at the point where I wrote Bemi was a time when I hadn't done music for a while, and I noticed that the reason why I know I'm going to do music for the rest of my life is when I'm not doing music, I kind of feel empty, yeah?
Yeah.
So for Bemi, that was the time when I was feeling empty. I was kind of depressed. I didn't really have much friends because for some reason or the other, like, no one seemed to like me. But yeah, like, there was that happening. There was me not feeling like myself and not being able to create music as much as I wanted to and how I wanted to. So much was happening. And also, I was trying to get closer to God at that point in time, because, like, not everyone believes in God, but I feel like if you believe in God, you have to go all in. Like, just make sure that you're at every point in time, like, you're right with God. And I was trying to get right with God, but a lot of times I was finding that, I was struggling to, chill with people, or struggling to just be Efe and then be Efe as a Christian. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it
Because,
does.
like, the normal things I used to do, like all the random lies and all the random maybe gossip or being, like a lot of that, like, because I was trying to be a better Christian, I couldn't do a lot of that. So it was like I'm struggling so much to not sin. So it was definitely a trying time for me. And I remember around that time, there was a day I was doing devotions and I was reading about the prodigal son, and like it just clicked, and I was like, I have to write a song about this. And the reason why I chose to use Yoruba is I feel like there are plenty beautiful languages, but I feel like Yoruba is one of those languages that you don't even have to understand what the person is saying for you to feel it. Like, I know so many songs that are pure Yoruba that I sing, and up till today, I have no clue what they mean, but I feel something in me. So I was like, okay, let me just do this. And how I worked on the song was, my friend gave me the link of a producer called Smart Beats, who is based in the UK.
Okay.
So I played the song on my guitar, sent it to him on WhatsApp, and like 2 days later, he sent me the beats, and I went to my friend's studio and I recorded it, and that was it. Honestly, at first, I created Bemi just so only I would listen to it. But at some point, everyone was like, release new music now. Why are you not releasing music? What's wrong? Oh, this blah, blah. You know how people can be like, yo, I'm trying to get my life together.
Yeah.
You can't get... So I was just like, okay, let me just put it out there. But Bemi is a very, very personal song. Very personal song.
And were you surprised, or were you... Not okay, I guess my question is, were you surprised by the reaction, which is a positive reaction to the song?
To be honest, no, because me, like, I've known what I want out of life since I was a little girl. I've always known what I want out of life. And even though I'm not where I want to be, for a long time, I've been waking up every day and looking in the mirror and telling myself, this is who you are. And I've been acting like that's who I am. So when things come to me and it's positive and it's the way I expect it to be or the way I feel it should be, I'm not necessarily surprised, because at the back of my head, I see myself, wow. I see myself as something else. I don't even know how to explain. Like, in my head, who I am is completely different from who everyone else is. And I think that's important for everyone to have that kind of image of themselves. So a lot of times, like before Bemi could reach 15K plays, I was even getting frustrated that it had not already reached there. Do you get? That's how myself. That's why for some time when I wasn't able to release music or when I wasn't putting music out and I was seeing, it felt like everyone else was progressing apart from me. Like, I'm really hurting, because it's the kind of situation where you know who you are, you know what you're worth. So why are you not getting what you're meant to get? But I think I'm starting to get over it. Not get over it in the sense that I'm, not seeing myself like that anymore. But I'm definitely starting to understand that you might have seen yourself as this and that, but God always has different plans, and things take time. Things that don't take time, things that just happen, bam, a lot of times they fade out really quickly. And I feel like what I'm trying to achieve in music, I don't want to fade out. I want to have longevity. People are always going to listen to the Beatles. My children will listen to the Beatles because there was that longevity about the music they created. And I feel like since that's what I'm trying to achieve, I need to be more patient.
And to be fair, you have to remember that everybody has their journey and their path in life. So go ahead. I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Everyone has their success. Like I was 2 days ago, you can't keep trying to, because I realized at some point in my life, I was trying to keep up with competition. I was trying to outdo people. And I realized that the more you place focus on a thing, the more it magnifies.
Mm-hmm.
So keep looking at what other people are doing. It's going to magnify in your life because you're always going to be thinking, which way can I outdo them?
Yeah.
Which way can I do this that they did and make it better? Meanwhile, the only thing you should be seeking to do is making yourself better and please.
Exactly.
So, like, if you're not doing that, what are you actually doing? Even if you get all the money in this world and get all the fame, but at the end of the day, all you did wasn't exactly what you wanted to do, how would you feel?
Yeah. And I just always say that at the end of the day, when you wake up in the morning, you don't see competition, you don't see your father, your mother, you see yourself. And yourself is your competition. So you shouldn't worry about what, Sade is doing. Like, you should focus on ensuring that whatever demons or challenges that Efe as an individual brings to the table, just being herself, you're able to conquer those, So, more power to you for recognizing that, that's important. So I'm definitely happy to hear that.
Jon Bellion.
It's smart beats production.
When I am weak and alone, when I've got nowhere to go, when I am stuck in the cold, when I am no longer bold, I can't do this on my own, I won't be fine all alone. So come and carry the load, need you to carry the load. 'Cause it's getting harder every day, and I feel like I have lost my way now. I'm so lost, I don't know what to pray, and I feel like I am losing faith now. Steady running up and down this maze. Can you shine your light, 'cause I need grace now. Need someone to help me navigate now. Need your face now, need a way out. I need a way out, and I'm not fit out here. I'm starting to doubt, and I'm starting to doubt everything that I know, everything that I know. I lean on my own understanding, now I can't do this alone. When I am weak and alone, when I have nowhere to go, when I am stuck in the cold, when I am no longer bold, I can't do this on my own, I won't be fine all alone. So come and carry the load, need you to carry the load. When I am weak and alone, when I've got nowhere to go, when I am stuck in the cold, when I am no longer bold, I can't do this on my own, I won't be fine all alone. So come and carry the load, need you to carry the load. I have lost my friends and family, there's no one who still...
Now, quickly, before I let you go, can you just explain to us what is in the Abuja water, or is it the Abuja air, that just has this awesome breeding ground for talented artists like yourself? You have Teiwa, you have Olabasi, to name a few. What is it about Abuja? Go ahead.
I feel like with Abuja, a lot of people who are here are really open-minded. And like say, Lagos is the home of entertainment in Nigeria, but Abuja is one place where the population of Lagos is young as well, but Abuja's population is also really young too, and everybody knows everybody in Abuja, so it's definitely, I wouldn't say necessarily easier, but once you have maybe your guys from secondary school have friends in another school. Those friends have friends in another school. Those ones have some friends in university. They have elder brothers, elder sisters. You get, at the end of the day, there's like a hub of supporters that are listening to your stuff. I think that's what the catch is with Abuja. Yeah, definitely. Okay. And the fact that
go ahead.
With Abuja, it's really easy to move around as opposed to Lagos. So if it's a question of maybe being able to go to the studio all the time or being able to link up with people and create, it's easy. Yeah.
Yeah, because I interviewed T.Y. Mix a while back, and he said that he moved from Abuja to Lagos, and he said that he agreed. I guess he echoed what you're saying about Abuja being this awesome breeding ground for you to explore your sound and define who you are as an artist. But he said that the problem is that if you want to, like you said, make it in Nigeria, you just have to go to Lagos.
But what I find is, at the end of the day, if you're able to live in Abuja but you have so much money or you have enough to be able to go between Abuja and Lagos. Like if you're in Lagos for 2 weeks, you can be in Abuja for 2 weeks. I feel like you would be more balanced, and that's what eventually I would like to do. Like Abuja is Abuja at the end of the day, and with Lagos is there's this thing about the Lagos waters. There's this thing about the Lagos spirit that if you're not careful, you kind of get sucked in to a lot of different stuff. So if you can successfully shuffle between Abuja and Lagos, I mean, like you're Gucci.
So Abuja is always going to be home for you. We can't drag you to Lagos.
Which is actually funny because I was born in Lagos. I'm a Lagosian by birth, and I spent maybe because my dad was in the Navy, so we used to move around a lot. But I spent, give or take, 8 to 9 years in Lagos. But once I got to Abuja, I was like, nah, man, this is it.
This is the life. So, such a traitor. If a traitor. But it's okay. We still love you as you are. Okay. Now, so you've had the opportunity to perform at various events, and you've also won a number of awards. In terms of the performance opportunities and experiences, what have they taught you in terms of how to hone your craft and, become an artist to be reckoned with? What have those experiences taught you?
It has taught me that it's not every time you climb the stage that people will be in your mood. It's not every time you climb that stage that people will want to clap or they even want to see your face. Because a lot of times I've been the opening act. Like at a prom I went to, Mr. Easy came for the prom. He was the main act. And it was as if the crowd was like, I beg,
hurry along
and get out of here so that we can see me. We want to, hold up and leg over and all of that. So it just taught me that when you get on that stage, your problem should not be the crowd's reaction. The jump. Don't let it be, would they clap for me? Just do your thing. If you're into what you're doing enough. You see, I like to think that with music, music is a spirit on its own. Like, my thoughts on music are really, really deep. I feel like music on its own is a force. It's like an element of nature completely. So if you're not a Beyonce fan, like you detest Beyonce, but you go to a Beyonce concert, you find yourself so involved with what she's doing because she's been able to master the spirit of music, So it's not really being 100% into what you're doing. If you're into it, even if not everybody in the audience gives you back the energy, there'll be some people that'll give you back the energy, and hopefully the people that'll give you back will be the ones that'll be sitting in front. So when video catches it, they will see them clap. So like that's all you really need.
Yeah. That's funny. And for those who do not know, Efe has won the God's Own Diva. She won the God's Own Diva 2016 singing competition. She also won the Nigerian Teen Choice Award for Choice Female Artist in 2016. So congratulations on those from last year. Looking forward to I think you kind of touched on that. You said that you can't really define your sound, right? But if you had to describe your sound in 30 seconds to someone who's like, Efe, just can you give me a feel of what your sound is like? What would you say this is kind of like what my sound is?
Well, I said in an interview earlier, maybe like 2 weeks ago, that my music to me is life, in the sense that everyone should just know that no matter what genre I go into, because I feel like I'm someone who is versatile and like multifaceted. So I feel like if I want to do something else, I'd be really good at it, or whatever I want to do, I'd be really good at it. And all praise to the Most High for bestowing such talent on me. But like at the end of the day, whatever I'm doing is going to edify the soul, in the sense that I would never do music that would just be, let me just use the term, anyhow. Do you get? My lyrics are always going to touch you. Like, no matter if I'm talking about love, or if I'm talking about Nigeria, or if I'm talking about, anything I'm talking about, my music is definitely going to touch you. I think that's all I can say right now. Maybe it's because I don't like putting myself in a box. That there is no box. Once you think, I don't want to put myself in a box, you are putting yourself in the box of people who don't want to be put in a box. So just create. And at the end of the day, just create something that people can always look at every point and be like, this is a great thing.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. I like that. Now, when you write a song, right, are you writing specifically for yourself, or are you just writing a great song?
Definitely not. Like, a lot of times when I write, yeah. Okay, let me in quotes bust your head small. I don't really try to write, except when someone commissions me to write a song, or someone is paying me or something, or when someone says, "Oh, can you write a song about so and so?" A lot of times I can just be walking or sitting and a song enters my head, and it's later that when I flesh it out that I actually know what the song is about, or if it's from my experience or someone else's experience, or if it's personal. But I feel like on a level though, like a lot of the stuff I've written, even in the features, a lot of them are personal. Because like I said, I'm really emotional. So like I'm one of those Drake kind of people. Yeah, I'm one of those Drake niggas. Every time, always in my feelings. Every time, either always complaining about one thing or overly excited about the other. So I definitely feel like most stuff I write is personal. I'm yet to write anything that hasn't, it might not have been a direct experience, but it must have had to touch me first before I would create.
Okay, that's interesting. And for those who are wondering what kind of features Efe has been on, she's been on Charles Anate's, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, God Gave Me, and she's also been on Olabasi's Found You, and most recently she has been on Remy Bargain's newest project called I Grew. I think that's how he has this. He has this weird name, but yeah,
she has thing for picking really strange names. Let's not get it.
I was just like, the struggle is real. Like, I feel like really, I went to school. Please, I went to school. But yeah, the song that she co-wrote with him is called Maybe. So yeah, that's sorry.
I helped him write on that one.
Yeah, that's why I said you co-wrote the song with him for Maybe. And talk about that real briefly. What was that experience like working with Remy on that song?
Well, I've actually worked with Remy before on song, but I never put the song out because I was like, this song is too personal. Like, when you make a song and it's like you're literally opening your life. I feel like as an artist, you have to do that. You have to be able to tap in there. But there are some songs that are just a bit too personal, yeah? And I realized that, like, if I put out the song, a lot of questions will be asked. And I'm someone who I absolutely hate having to explain. I just like, I'll just keep it and just be selfish with it and listen to it. But Remy is someone who, he's not only someone I work with, but he's one of the people I consider my friends. So he sent me a beat and he was like, I'm having a hard time writing to this. I beg, guy, help me. And normally, like, I would ask, I would charge, but I was like, nah, you're my G. Let me just help you do a few things. And I didn't know he wanted the song to be about, like, being broke and life as an upcoming artist. So I made, like, a full song about love. Yeah, and then it was later he was like, this is not what I asked you to write about. I'm like, well, take it or leave it. So what he actually did is that he took some of the melodies and some of the words, and by the time I heard the thing that it turned into, I still really liked it. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is. It's a lovely song. I listened to the project and it's quite interesting. Now just quickly going to writing songs. If you had to write songs for four Nigerian artists which ones would you like to write for and why?
Number one, Asha, because Asha is mommy. That's it. The reason why I play guitar is because of Asha. The first time I watched Fire on the Mountain video, I remember looking at her and be like, I'm going to be like that one day. And like even till now, whenever people are trying to describe, who is Efe, they'll be like, she's like Asha. And if someone says I'm like someone else, I might pick offense. But because it's mommy, like it's cool. It's okay. And I also find it funny that her name is Asha and it's A-S-A and my name is Efe and it's E-F-E. So like I always think, okay, maybe you are like kindred spirit. Exactly. So yeah. Also, I would love to write for Two-Face because Asha is mommy and Two-Face is daddy. I feel like Two-Face is one of those people that have been able to make songs that you can play in clubs, but as the song is playing in club, like during the Azonto, one deep lyric will just hit you and you just want to think about your life. Do you get? He's one of the people that have been able to write lyrics that not only have they been able to touch you, but you can still see a lot of stuff that he's written before, like happening. Like this song, which is my favorite song from him. This Only Me.
If I say not just me. Yeah.
I feel like that song is one song that resonates with so much that's happening in the society today, and so much that people, struggle with on a personal basis. Also, I would love to write for Tiwa Savage because I feel like I kind of enjoy doing some Afro beats sometimes, but I don't just like it when it comes from me. I don't know if that makes any sense. I just don't want to do it, but I enjoy it. So I feel like if I had the opportunity to write for her, I would go ham. Like, I would produce maybe like 20 songs. I just be like, you know what, mama, just do what you want. I got you. Yeah.
And then who's the last artist?
Let me think. Who? I haven't actually given this thought before, but off the top of my head, let me just say Wizkid. Why? Because I feel like I can write something completely different from what Wizkid normally does for him. And I feel like we all know who Wizkid is and the kind of music he produces, but I feel like if I got to work with him, he would do something different, but it would be different in the way that everyone would still love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll put your own spin on it. That's, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what being an awesome songwriter is. So I hope that comes to fruition for you. If not this year, sometime next year and sometime in the future. So we're putting that there into the universe and into God's hands that that'll come to fruition for you. Now quickly, before we let you go, I have this section where it's called the fun random questions. So I'm going to ask you some fun random questions before I say bye-bye.
All right.
And before I get to the fun random questions, do you want to talk about your upcoming projects that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, basically, I don't want to shed too much light on them because I want everyone to be surprised. Like,
okay.
If it girls, you can't do this. So yeah, just look out for it. Like, it's something that I've spent so much time writing. I literally wrote a full EP and I trashed it and started writing another one because I realized that what I did at first was too cliche and too overdone, and it would have still, been nice, but should the songs just be nice? Do you get? So, definitely just look out for everything and just keep an open mind and an open heart when it comes to the stuff I'm putting out, because you definitely be surprised. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Now, what would you be doing if you weren't doing music?
I'd probably be like a baker. Yeah.
And why is that?
I'm so into confectionaries. Like, I just love it. And I feel like when I'm stressed, like music-wise or education, like, baking is always one thing that kind of releases stress for me. It's kind of weird, but I just really like baking. But if I wasn't baking, definitely talking, because like I said, I talk a lot. But I like to believe that what I say most times makes sense. So it only makes sense for me to go into maybe like hosting or being an on-air personality or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, how do you handle mistakes during a performance?
Wow. I have a really good poker face, I would say. Like, I'm one of those people that, I can definitely, like, kind of hide when something has gone wrong. And also, I realize that there's a beauty about imperfections. And although I'm a perfectionist, what I notice is that maybe, like, if I'm singing and I play a wrong chord, if the crowd is really into what I'm doing, even if they are not, most times, because a lot of them might not have musical ears, they actually don't notice that I've done something wrong. I don't know if that makes sense. But like, they don't really know. So it's like, just keep going. Like, if you're on stage and something goes wrong, like there was a time I was performing somewhere and literally NEPA took lights and everything went off. Like, everyone was kind of disoriented, but I just kept doing what I was doing. And at the end of the day, the performance turned into like a bonfire type thing, and it was really cool. So yes, performing, and maybe the DJ booth goes off. That's why I feel like a lot of performers have to learn to start performing live, as opposed to performing with soundtrack all the time. Yeah. And that's
true.
Like playing an instrument comes in handy. Yeah. So like, just keep going with the flow. Keep going with the flow. It will sort itself out. If people are really into what you're doing, it's going to make sense either way.
That's very true, and it's very true that he talks about like a lot of Nigerian artists need to learn how to give a performance without backing tracks. You have to be able to give. Go ahead.
Like they would pay them even up to like 500,000 for a show, but they'll come to the show and plug their phone into the speaker. Like if I was an event host and someone did that, I'd be like, nah, man, no, don't do that. Like, a lot of them don't really put a lot of thought into it. And honestly, I can't blame them sometimes, because at the end of the day, when they perform the song, either way, the crowd is still going to give them feedback. But I feel like more thought has to be put in.
Mm-hmm. And how do you ensure that you are constantly honing your craft daily? So are you constantly practicing how to be a better guitarist and how to sing?
Yeah.
So talk about that briefly.
All the time. I try to play new songs so like I can find more chords to add to my chord dictionary. I practice every day, and there's this little room in my house I call my sanctum. It's like away from every other room, and it's kind of soundproof. So I go up there from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. every day, and I sing really high songs. Like I sing Broadway songs like "Don't Rain on My Parade" by Barbra Streisand, or "Think of Me" from Phantom of the Opera, just because I have like really wide ranges, and I try to push myself singing them.
That's really cool. On a scale of 1 to 10, how troublesome would you say you are?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
A strong 7.
A strong 7.
A strong 7. Not too much, but just enough.
Well, Efe, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was really
You're
nice
welcome.
getting to know you. So if people want to stay up to date on what, you're doing, can you give us your social media handle?
Okay. My Twitter, Instagram, YouTube is all Efe Oraka.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's EFEORAKA.
Yes.
Okay.
And my my Snapchat is Efe Rogene, which is my phone name.
Okay.
Yes. And my SoundCloud is Efe Oraka as well.
All right. Cool. So Efe Oraka. All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Best of luck with everything.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
When I am weak and alone, when I have nowhere to go, when I am stuck in the cold, when I am no longer bold, I can do this on my own. I won't be fine all alone. So come and carry the load. Need you to carry the load. When I am weak and alone, when I got nowhere to go, when I am stuck in the cold, when I am no longer bold, I can do this on my own. I won't be fine all alone. So come and carry the load. Need you to carry the load.
The SNC podcast is produced by Sade Anozie and Tomiwa Fawumi. To ensure you don't miss subsequent episodes, you can follow the show on its various social media handles at TheSNCPodcast. So that's TheSNCPodcast. And that name is universal across Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, Facebook, iTunes, and Mixcloud. For those who'd like to get in touch with me by email, my email is shadeanozie@gmail.com. Alternatively, you can follow me on Twitter at Shade Nonconform. Till next week, cheers.